Dr. Wenstrup.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary and Mr. President, we're charged with the responsibility of providing security and defense for this country as well as you. And we take that oath. You said earlier, I know that trust has been broken, and I appreciate that you recognize that that has happened. It's really disturbing to me. I have a track record of being trusted by my government. I served in Iraq. I had secret clearance. I knew what battles were coming up so that as a surgeon running a cache, I could prepare for what may be coming our way. It bothers me that I'm not trusted now that I'm here. It bothers me that you're afraid that I would provide a leak with my record of service. And I think that stands for many others here. And that that's not even considered is really bothersome and should be to the American people. But I'm glad when I was in uniform that I was trusted to carry out my mission, as opposed to here by this administration, apparently. And you had mentioned that everyone was unanimous on the plan, and I wonder if they were unanimous on the premise itself for this exchange, because there's a difference between being in favor of what we're doing and approving the plan. It's decided that we're doing it. So I'd be curious to know about that. But during the course of this, I wondered, did we promise any retaliation if our soldier was harmed in any way? Did we let our enemy know that if this soldier was harmed in any way, that there would be retaliation of some sort?
If the Taliban...
In the negotiations, if I'll call him by name, Sergeant Bergdahl, if harm came to him under their care, would there be any retaliation from the United States of America?
Well, let me ask Steve Preston. He was there during the negotiations. So.
I would say, sir, that in the discussions of the exchange, the focus was specifically on the logistics.
So no is the answer.
No.
We did not say if you harm him in any way.
The entire effort was to engineer it so as to minimize the chance of harm to our country.
I understand that, okay, but obviously we didn't say that there would be some retaliation if he was harmed. Now, Secretary, you before said that he was a POW. You said that here today, that he was a POW, and now we're hearing it's a different name. But regardless, so do we know, did his captors adhere to the Geneva Convention like we do?
Let me just respond first. When I referenced him as a POW, he was a prisoner of war. He was a prisoner of war.
I'm okay with that.
And the technicality of what the General Counsel is talking about, that's why I asked the General Counsel to make sure the technical concept.
But going to my question, did they adhere to the Geneva Convention as we do?
I think it remains to be seen how he was treated, but there's a serious question of that,
sure.
to say the least.
I appreciate that. And are you familiar with our policy for compassionate release of detainees? Either of you? Because if you're not, I can inform you. Because I served as a surgeon at Abu Ghraib prison in 05-06. We had a program for some of our worst enemies. If they were to be fatally ill, we released them to their families. It's called a compassionate release. This is a policy of the United States. Did we ask them for a compassionate release if indeed our soldier was so sick that we had to move so quickly? Did we ask them for a compassionate release in the manner that we perform as the United States of America?
Not to my knowledge.
Thank you. So we do it.
I might add, though, Congressman.
Yes, sir.
The Taliban, as you know, you have some experience in which I thank you for that service. They don't play by the same rules.
That's my point. That is exactly my point, Mr. Secretary, and I thank you for verifying what the case I'm trying to make. We play by a set of rules as a decent people, and we are not dealing with decent people here. Yet we acted as though we were, and we acted as though we were releasing decent people, and we are not. And I would ask you, does anyone here really think that the world is a safer place after we've made this trade? And I want to ask one other question. We had 5 American casualties yesterday. What if one of those was captured by the Taliban? Would we be back in Qatar at the negotiation table?
Well, you know, you served. You heard it all morning. We don't leave anybody behind. we will do what we have to do.
There's several ways of not leaving someone behind.
Well, that's right, but you don't send them chocolates and say send them over. Tough business.
I agree.
Tough business.
I agree. Thank you, and I yield back.
Ms. Walorski.